Hi, everyone. It's Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer, and today we're going to talk about gratitude done right. And I have to tell you that when I started looking into the idea of gratitude, I figured, well, what could go wrong? It must be pretty simple. But let's take a look at what our guides have shared with us about gratitude, and then I'm going to share with you a story about what happened to me when we don't fully understand a principle, a spiritual principle, and we're trying so hard to use it correctly, but we may be misreading information that we're getting from different sources. This is one of the reasons I want us to be so good about checking in with our spirit of discernment. If it feels like you might be off or the advice might be off for some reason, you're right. 9 times out of 10, you are going to be right that when you get that weird feeling, it's for a reason. So I want you to make sure that you don't just put yourself in the corner and say, oh, I don't know enough. I haven't been on this journey long enough, or this person has written a book, so clearly they're the authority. If it feels like you're off, it's for a reason. Investigate it. But let's go see what the guides have to say. I'm going to share my story, and then I want to hear your stories about how gratitude is working or perhaps not working in your life. So they begin, dear ones, we applaud your effort to be grateful for everything. But today we want to give you the tools that will make your habit of gratitude more effective. Understand that being grateful for everything is the absolute surest way to move yourself forward and to maintain positive motion. But when you simply say the words, I'm grateful, expecting them to be the magic formula for whatever may need fixing in your life, you're merely repeating empty words. Words alone have no power, but they gain power when they're either expressed with deep feeling or repeated endlessly by many who have attached meaning to them. When they repeat a chant and express words with reverence over a long period of time, the words begin to acquire the vibrational resonance of the utterers. In other words, that which is repeated comes to represent energetically what is being felt by the many who are saying the words. So it's not enough just for you to repeat endlessly words that have no meaning for you. That's not going to move things in any direction. It just kind of keeps you stagnant. But if you are repeating words that have acquired a resonance of absolute joy and power, then you're actually putting wings on what you're saying. And they continue, it is the same way with gratitude. You may say the words, I'm grateful, and feel nothing. In this case, your words will mean nothing and do nothing. So it's just like the prayers that we say. If we don't pay any attention to the words, or we don't look to the words to bring us something that we're hoping, if we don't see the majesty and say those words with that majesty, nothing happens for us. It doesn't change anything. So now they go on to say that in this case, you're misusing gratitude, for you feel safe that if you just repeat the words, I am grateful, often enough, then you'll receive the miracle you're hoping for. Yet, while you repeat that phrase, many of you may be feeling anything but grateful. Perhaps you've been told that holding on to negativity such as resentment, guilt, and fear is the surest way for you to experience more of the very things you're trying to avoid. And you desperately, but not gratefully, begin expressing gratitude, hoping to ward off the negative that you're in the process of attracting. You must understand that you cannot fool the law of attraction with words. You cannot bribe your way into a better tomorrow. You must believe your way into a brighter tomorrow by making peace with where you are now and by expressing sincere gratitude for all that you have. The energetic realm doesn't communicate via language. It operates slowly in the vibrational field. If you're to have success, and that's what this is all about. It's not about maybe someday. It's about getting you success. If you're to have success in using the energetic principles in your life, you have to offer a consistent vibrational resonance that's compatible with what you do want. You cannot rely on pretty words or popular sayings to do your communicating for you. It's how you're feeling. The energy of how you're feeling when you're expressing yourself is what's being communicated. The words you speak may get your message across to the people that are around you, but the universe is cued by what you're feeling as you're saying those words. So if you want to move yourself into a place where you attract more of what you do want, you must spend time examining not just what you're saying about what you want, but what you're feeling about what you're saying. So when you say, I am grateful, and you're feeling scared, disappointed, or discouraged, the element of gratitude will not reach the universe, but your disappointment will. Instead of just saying words or talking without thinking, even repeating over and over again mindless incantations that may have meaning to someone else, examine what is true for you. When you're feeling sincere gratitude and when you're really grateful, express it and express it often. But what do you do when you're in the midst of exactly what you don't want and you're unable to express gratitude for that situation? Should you try and trick the law of attraction by claiming gratitude for this unwanted thing? No. They tell us, instead of trying to put a Band-Aid on an open wound, we ask that you react instead with honesty. And when we get in the habit of being honest with how we're feeling, we're much more able to move away from that which doesn't serve us. It's only when we find ourselves getting caught up in that place where we're trying to pretend we feel something that we don't, that we get stuck. So once you've identified the situation and you have taken out the parts that you don't like, and you've really looked at them and said, okay, this is what I don't like, it's why I don't like it, this is what's causing me the problem right now, then put it away. Once you've examined it, once you've had your moment to bellyache, now you need to just be done with it. Take your energy off of that situation and get ready, get busy, looking for anything that's going right and feels good. Anything for which you can say and mean that you're truly grateful for this thing being in your life. When you're truly grateful, you put out a vibrational resonance that is of a high frequency. However, when you pretend to be grateful, you can say the words, feeling anything but grateful, and you're putting out a low vibrational signal into the universe. And then we're all surprised when we attract back to ourselves that low vibration. The low vibration is heavy, dark, and unwieldy. That's made up of the things you can't wait to get rid of, but they will cling to you as long as you spend time in those low vibrational areas of anger, frustration, grief, resentment, jealousy, guilt, shame, blame. We can go on. But remember, you can't hide your feelings behind words that sound good. The universe is not going to speak your language. It can only read your feelings, but it will mirror those feelings exactly. So find reasons to be sincerely joyful, loving, kind, and compassionate. You don't have to be manic in your enthusiasm. None of us are going to be up all of the time. But you want to cultivate an air or a core of goodness around you so that for most of the time you feel sincerely happy, or at least content. Now, I want to close with what they've said by reminding you that something that they said that was just so perfect. Don't say the words, "I am grateful," and expect miracles. Mean them. Feel them. Be delighted that you have something to be grateful for. And then expect a miracle. Absolutely, we are to take advantage of this incredible ability that we have, the power that we have within us when we are in alignment and when we are calling on correctly on those higher resonances, that higher vibrational field. So take responsibility for what you're creating, but be aware that you're not going to use words that sound good, and they may even mean great things. But if you're feeling really badly, that's what the universe is going to hear and activate in your life. So if you're looking around saying, "Oh my gosh, I am running around trying to be so grateful. I'm so careful to be grateful for everything. I don't understand why I keep getting these circumstances that are really not pleasant." The answer that you're seeing, or the answer to that, is that the universe is not reading the surface stuff. It's not looking at what you're able to say when you're conscious. It's down in the subconscious. It's looking at what you're feeling. It's looking at those emotions and that general vibrational resonance, not the few little times when you're able to pretend that you're feeling good. It looks at your beingness and says, "Oh, where are they? Oh, look, they're feeling depressed and desperate." So since they've put all of their attention and energy into feeling depressed and desperate, that is clear that that's what they want more of. And look, they're even trying to be grateful for this desperation and depression. So let's make sure that we quickly respond and give more to be desperate about. Now, I'm going to share with you a story that, looking back, I cannot believe that this was somehow became my operating system. But remember, we're all growing every day. And you're going to look back on your spiritual journey and say, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe I was that naive," or "I misunderstood so completely," or that "I thought I knew so much when I knew so little." But don't go back with judgment in your heart and criticism. Go back and take a light-hearted look at where you may have been, and then congratulate yourself for moving forward so quickly and so beautifully. Nothing gets accomplished when you get out the whip and you start beating yourself up, except that you find more things that are wrong with you or wrong with your situation. So take a light-hearted look at where you were. It was a wonderful teacher, and teachers are invaluable. So anyway, I was just beginning to learn about gratitude, and I happened to be reading this book. I honestly do not remember the name of the book or the author, All I remember is that it was written by a woman. And I'm absolutely grateful that I don't remember the name of the book or her name, because I created such a disservice for would be creating such a disservice for her, because the book was really wonderful. I just, for some reason, got a completely warped view of what she was saying. And she was talking about gratitude and how gratitude had changed her life. And so there's one part in the book where she explains that she is a young mother, and they bought a home that they were going to be refurbishing. It was one of those sort of fixer-upper kinds of homes. And so they bought this home that they're going to be refurbishing. And she also had 2 young children. Well, any of us who remember what it's like when the children are young remember that you spend a lot of time being really tired. And you may not be at your emotional best or even your physical best. So one day she found that while the children were napping or doing something, she was trying to work in the kitchen to create some repairs or create a kitchen that was livable. And she became overwhelmed. Looked at the cabinets that were falling off. She looked at the mess of the floor, and she just became completely overwhelmed, found herself in tears, sobbing at the place that she was living, at how overwhelmed she was. She and her husband were on a very strict budget, and she just felt overwhelmed by life. And she found that she was sobbing. At some point, she looked up and she saw these kitchen cabinets that were hanging off of their hinges. And she thought to herself, I just need to be grateful. I'm going to be grateful for this mess, for my life, for the way things are right now. And she found that by being grateful for the way things were right now, she was able to move herself forward into a place where things got better and better. Well, what she was saying was wonderful and perfect, but somehow I heard and started practicing the art of crazy gratitude. I heard her say, look at everything that's going wrong and be grateful for it. So I started looking around in my life, and at that time, there was a lot of stuff going wrong. But I got really focused on the things that were going wrong. Oh, thank you so much for bringing me this disaster in my life and that disaster and this thing to be anxious and frightened about. Well, by putting all of my time and attention, all of my precious energy into what was going wrong and then trying to manipulate things and say, I'm really happy I have a lot of things going wrong in my life, by trying to manipulate things in that way, all I was doing was broadcasting to the universe that I needed more things going wrong because I was really excited about those things and grateful for those things. And I was giving all of my energy and all of my attention to everything that was going wrong. So please bring me more things that I can focus on that are going wrong. Well, of course, my belief at the time was, well, if I'm just grateful for everything that's going wrong, things will magically begin going right. I don't have to look at what I want and get focused on that. I just have to pretend grateful for these things that are going wrong. And then my life will magically fix itself. I don't have to watch my thoughts. I don't have to take responsibility for the fact that I made these things go wrong in the first place, and I'm the only one that can correct them. All I have to do is be grateful for this mess, and it will become perfect. Well, all I was doing was energizing everything I could find toward the negative, toward what I didn't want. I was trying to cover up my desperation with false gratitude, trying to pretend that something that wasn't was something I wanted. And I know that when we begin using the law of attraction, or when we say, oh, I'm so excited that I have received such and such. This is not the same thing. First of all, when we create our statement and we say, this is what I want to attract, God, please bring this into my world. Wonderful, you've created this desire that you want to attract. Next, you know that you need to act and continue to energize the idea that it has already arrived. But that's not what I was doing. I wasn't saying, oh, hooray, look at this wonderful thing. I'm so delighted that I was able to attract it into my vibrational space. Instead, what I was saying was, uh-oh, I have everything I don't want. I'm petrified, and I've got to pretend that I'm glad that it's here. So these are completely different ways of operating, and I had just gotten confused. When you are expressing gratitude, remember they told us how important it was for us to focus on the feeling part. That's the only language the universe can speak. Focus on how it feels. So if you are not feeling good, do the work to get into a better feeling space. And sometimes part of that work is to say, ouch, this doesn't feel good. Let me look at it, understand why it doesn't feel good, do something to make it feel better. I'm not a victim. Get used to saying that to yourself. I no longer am willing to be a victim. As long as you allow life to happen to you, you are a victim. But you don't have to be a victim. You get to decide what you allow in your life and what you don't allow in your life. There are some things that you will want to allow because you need to grow. So some things do feel as though they have just suddenly appeared. You haven't, that's not true. That's the way it feels to us. But remember, our subconscious mind is always in communication with our higher self, with source, energy. And so you are creating the life that will bring you the most growth over the shortest period of time. And that's why sometimes we do find that obstacles that were unexpected may appear. It's because you've asked for growth. However, if your life is just one continuous series of challenges, it's because you've gotten attached to the disaster. And I'll give you an example of that, and then I want to take your questions. I had someone immediately write in as soon as I put this post up, this blog post up, and they gave me a list as long as my arm. How do you expect me to be grateful when this is what is going on in my life? Now, I looked at that and I thought, they're right. From where they are, it is impossible for them to be grateful because the only thing they are looking at is everything that is wrong. It has become their mantra. Look at my life. Look at what's wrong. Look at how bad it is. I feel so sorry for myself. look at all these bad things. But what I would say to them, if I were able to reply, is, hey, wait a minute. I get it. I know that you're hurting, and I am so sorry that you're hurting. But the longer that you focus on what's wrong and how you're hurting, the longer this is going to continue. So what can you find in your life that you can be grateful for? What feels good in your life? And if they were to say, well, nothing feels good, everything feels horrible, and my life just continues to be one long downward spiral, then you might have to go to the place where you say to yourself, okay, can I be grateful for the fact that I am breathing? Can I be grateful for the fact that my heart continues to beat? Can I be grateful for the fact that the sun is shining? You might have to get really basic if you have allowed yourself to be completely consumed by the negativity in your life and you have attracted more. Remember, we have to take responsibility. So I would have loved to have said to this person, well, it's not your fault. These bad things are just happening, but that would be very dishonest and it wouldn't help them move forward. So what I have to say instead is, you must start from where you are to find things that are going right. They weren't ready to hear, hey, you're responsible for bringing this mess into your life. So we begin gently. What can you find that is going right? Let's turn your attention away from what's wrong and give you a break. Later on, after they had grown spiritually, we may have the conversation that says, remember when your life was just one big mess? You got to take responsibility for that. Otherwise, you're going to find that life becomes one big mess again. You don't get out the whip. Oh, I'm so bad. How could I have done this? I'm terrible. I'm a horrible person. That's just going to bring you more to feel badly about. But also, you cannot look around you and say, oh, it's all Mary's fault. It's all Steve's fault. It's all the dog's fault. You're the one that's in charge. You're the one that gets to choose how your life is going to move forward. You get to agree to these challenges or just say, no, I'm not ready. I don't want to move up spiritually. I can't do it right now. And things will dissipate. And you will feel frustrated because you didn't agree to go on the glorious journey of moving yourself forward spiritually. Part of you will know you gave up a great opportunity and get very frustrated with yourself. But just let go of all of those negative emotions. Let go of all of the self-criticism and the blame. You're not going to accomplish anything by blaming someone else, and you're not going to accomplish anything by blaming yourself. You got to take responsibility. Hey, this is the way it is. All right, I get it. I am in charge of what I am thinking and feeling. Therefore, I get to make a better choice. As soon as you're able to do that and own it, you can then begin to move forward or move your life forward in better and better directions. Just remember, there are no magic wands. It took you all of your lifetime to get where you are now. You didn't suddenly develop a negative mindset or create these problems for yourself. It took you years and years and years for you to get where you are. And it's going to take a couple of months for you to really acquire a positive mindset and the habit of looking at things as though they are going well instead of going wrong. But if you've been practicing another way for 30, 40 years, and I'm telling you, hey, you know what? You're looking at 30 to 90 days before this is really a comfortable habit for you until you really do this without having to stop and think every single minute. I think that's a pretty darn good deal. However, I know when I started all those years ago, it felt like it was taking forever. So, it's okay. You really will get there. There are no magic wands, so tomorrow you're not going to wake up after being positive for 24 hours. You're not going to wake up and say, oh my gosh, look at this. Everything has transformed overnight. That won't happen, and if you believe that to be true, again, you're setting yourself up for failure. The reason we quit on our journey is because we have created unrealistic expectations for ourselves, or we are confused by what we're learning. I was so confused about gratitude that I wanted to quit many, many times along the way. And I did take a lot of vacations from doing the work that I needed to do. But the wonderful thing is that if you will continue, if you will pay attention to what your spirit is telling you, and when you do the work to go into the heart and clear out all of that junk that you've been holding on to, when you're able to do that and stick with it, you receive in return a lifetime of freedom. You get to be the person in charge of your life. You're no longer the victim. You're no longer feeling that your life is out of control. You may still make some mistakes. That's how we learn. I don't know if we ever get to the place where we don't make mistakes. I'm still making them. I'm still looking at things that I have said or done and said, whoops, that was not my best move. However, if you can be loving to yourself while you're looking at yourself critically and saying, okay, whoa, you got so far off the track there. Do over. Instead of getting out the self-condemnation whip and saying, oh, you are so stupid, you'll never get it right. Be loving to yourself. We're going to make mistakes, but we're going to get a lot of things right also. Get excited when you get it right, and just brush it off when you get it wrong. Now, there are so many of you on the call today, and I'm so delighted that you're here, but I don't want to just continue rattling on. Anybody that has a question, *2 will raise your hand. I would love to hear your concerns. It doesn't even have to be a question. It can just be how you're feeling about gratitude in general. All right, Monique.
Hi, Marcia.
Hi, honey.
Hi. I just want to tell you, sometimes I'm a little bit sad because of the events, but I learned my lesson about it. So I try to do something with the lesson that I learned, and I think I learned a lot, but I have to put it in my life. And there is an army of light starting in the world, and I was one of the warriors of light. So now I'm telling myself, well, if I can be a light for another, then I have to be a light for myself, right? So, yeah,
absolutely.
I try to change my thought, and okay, I'm just a little bit disappointed, but it's going better in time. So, yeah. I
Good for
just want to
you.
tell
And
you that.
well, and thank you for bringing that really brilliant point to mind for all of us.
Yeah,
None
you know,
of us are going to be able to be feeling like I can save the world all of the time. You've got to take some self-care time, and
yeah,
that may include feeling like, you know what? I can barely be here for myself. So I'm just going to have to pull in a little bit and focus on what I'm doing in my life. And when I feel better, when I've gotten through this time, then I will allow my light to shine and shine for others, empower other people. But it's not selfish to say, hey, it's Monique time. I
yeah.
am really going through some stuff here.
Yeah, and I'm doing it that right now, you know. If people two friends of mine, they ask a time from me last week, but I got some things of my own. So I tell them, yeah, I'm sorry, but I have no time. So okay. Me
Good.
first.
Yes, good for you.
Yeah.
That is another way we get ourselves off the gratitude track, which is we think we have to say yes to absolutely everyone who asks us to do something. Well, if I'm a kind and loving person, I will say yes. Hey, you know what? You can check in and say, how does it feel to me? Do I want to do this? Do I have time to do this? What will it do to me if I say yes? If it's going to mess you up, say no.
Well, it
It,
didn't mess me up, but then I have to reset my own appointments.
yeah,
What
that
I
would mess you up. That would have
yeah.
created so much confusion in your life that then you're heading into a negative space. And
Yeah.
then you run the risk of starting to grumble and complain and put your focus on, oh, why are things not going well for me? Well, you overextended yourself. You didn't give yourself time for you, and now you're getting the payback for that bad decision.
Yeah, because I learned it in the event, and so now I try to more love myself, also because of you. So yeah,
Good, 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 because it's so easy to be grateful for how your life is going and get excited and keep your mind in a positive direction when you are being self-loving.
yeah,
But when you're being very self-critical and very hard on yourself, you don't want to be, you're not feeling good and you're not feeling very happy or grateful for anything. And then you get swept up in all of the things that are going wrong, just like that one person who wrote. And the list was so long. It was, their life is not good. It's not nice. But until they let go of rehearsing what's wrong, it's not going to get better. So they've got to find something where,
yeah. And I always was positive, so I try to get my power back. So
good for you. I love
yeah.
that. Recognizing yourself as powerful is absolutely the first step.
Yeah, and then, well, maybe I don't going to be a lawyer, but I know now for myself that I can do good learning, you know. So yeah, I have to be proud of myself.
Yes, you do. And here's the thing to remember. No matter how long it takes, if something is meant for you, it will find you.
Yeah, I know, and I think that people uh have more soulmates in their life. So, well, I think there is not a soulmate for me. Is coming on my way.
And or it is the same person
Oh,
that
I
is
hope so.
that is suddenly in the right place or is receptive to the fact that they may have something in common with you. Because the thing that you always need to remember is they have free will and you have free will.
Okay.
So you may say, oh my gosh, I'm really clear that person X is my soulmate. But at the time that you become aware of this, person X is not wanting to be, is not interested in anything of a spiritual nature or is on a very self-destructive path.
Okay.
Well, that doesn't mean that you were not supposed to meet or that you were not supposed to share something. It just means that every person has free will. And so sometimes plans will get delayed or pushed off in the wrong direction if the other person is not able to fully connect or to get the if they're not wanting to be part of the program. So that's why it can be a little difficult with when you say, well, I know I have a soulmate or it's this particular person. That particular person has free will too. And
Yeah.
they may have decided that they don't want to fulfill their soul contract in this life.
Okay. Yeah. Because the soulmate that I met in the event and also before by the Citibank because of my death. And well, I saw him in a vision when I was 8 years old, and I even not living here in Apeldoorn. It was in an other town, but I see him in a vision, and then I was a lawyer. So I don't know if the vision now is changed. Yeah. So I don't know. I just waiting for a soulmate.
But remember, we don't want to put all of our hopes and dreams on another person. You by yourself are more than enough. It's lovely, it will be lovely if your soulmate comes into your awareness.
Yeah.
But even if that person or those people, perhaps it's many people, even if they don't choose to honor whatever soul contract you may have made before you came in, you're still going to be fabulous because you've chosen to look at things from the highest perspective possible. You've chosen to be your highest expression of yourself. You've chosen to be more than enough. You've chosen to take that leap forward instead of saying, well, if I can't have this person, my life is over, or I don't have any.
First I was thinking that, yes, and there was a song on the radio for the owner of a lonely heart, and it makes me sad. So I was thinking, no, Marcia tells me only what it is for your highest good. So I was thinking, okay, maybe I got more soulmates.
Maybe you do. And we don't know what wonderful thing is coming your way. All we know is that as long as you are open and willing to receive wonderful things, they can come to you. But if you are constantly telling yourself, oh, poor me, I don't have a soulmate, or this particular person is not interested, so my life is over, your life is going to be over.
Yeah, and I just want to live. Yeah, I
But
want to enjoy my life again. So, yeah.
We always have to remember how powerful we are. And that brings me to another question. Someone else wrote in and said, why should we be grateful when things are not going well? Well, you got to recognize, first of all, how powerful you are.
Yeah.
And if you keep talking about everything that's going wrong and grumbling about how tough your life is, there's no room for good things to come in and begin to unfold in your life. So you look for whatever is going well so that you can unattach from all of the negative that you've been calling into your life.
Yeah.
But now there's another side to this, and this is something that I really want to go over with people because it's another form of false gratitude, and I almost forgot to mention it. But I've had people say, well, I'm always grateful, but nothing seems to change. Be careful when you are, if you are, apologizing for who you are. And let me make that clear, because there's a kind of personality, and I used to be very guilty of this, where I felt that I wasn't worthy of receiving, so therefore I should be ridiculously grateful for anything anyone gave me, and be very uncomfortable with receiving whatever it was. Of course, it's difficult for things to come to you when you're unable to receive them. But then if somebody felt that I had offended them or not lived up to their expectation, I kept wanting to apologize. So that personality, that person that I was modeling at the time, was completely closed off to source. So what I was doing is, you did this wrong. Oh, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I won't do it again. Ridiculous overkill on the I made a mistake. Me today says, yeah, you know what? I did. I'm really sorry. Let me take care of that for you. I can admit
Yeah.
that I made a mistake, but I'm not going to beat myself up or make myself less than you are because there happens to be a mistake. On the other side, when I was being that person, when somebody would give me something, I would say, oh my God, oh, thank you so much. Thank you so, oh my, thank you. And I would believe that I was being grateful, but what I was really saying is, I'm not worthy. And so they would do something that was like, hey, you did a good job writing this article, let's say. Oh, thank you so much. Oh my gosh. I thank you. I can't believe you took the time to read it, or some ridiculous, just never ending of putting myself down, trying to pretend that the other person was so much more valuable and worthy than I was. Well, I wasn't really expressing gratitude. I wasn't really thankful that they had said I had done a good job in whatever I was doing. I had worked hard. I knew I had done a good job. That was one of my mottos, was work hard, or the product that you present must be perfect. I wasn't allowed to make a mistake. So I wasn't sincerely grateful that they had noticed. I was just not comfortable receiving any kind of benefit or compliment or anything good coming into my life. And that's not real gratitude.
Yeah,
And so
I'm sure.
that person that said to me, I'm always grateful, but nothing seems to be going right, is probably doing what I used to be doing, where you pretend that you're grateful when you've really I was kind of resentful that I felt that I needed to apologize for being in the same space with other people or be so delighted that they noticed me in any way. That wasn't real gratitude. That was me faking it, hoping that the other person wouldn't notice or wouldn't call me on it. And then when I got more to be resentful of, or I received even less because I wasn't allowing myself to receive anything, I became even more resentful or more obsequious with my gratitude. So that was another aspect of it that I realized I was getting wrong, was just not being genuine, not being able to say, hey, you know what? I love me, and I think I do deserve wonderful things. There are times when I screw up, and I probably deserve to have things turn out the way they did. But even then, now I'm saying, okay, I screwed up, but I still don't deserve it to go badly. Let me fix it really quick. It's such a long way from where I was, where I had constantly been told, you really don't have much value. This is the parts of you that are valuable. Well, if you're going to do hard work, you're valuable. If you're going to be kind to people, then you'll have value. Well, I took all of that so seriously that I was working night and day, and I was being ridiculous. You could walk on me with concrete shoes with nails sticking out at the end of them, and I would still want to be kind to you. That is ridiculous. That's not a healthy person.
Yeah, because then they don't really love you because of who you are. They just love you because you are doing hard working.
Exactly. So it's okay to say, whoa, that doesn't feel good. And to say, I'm not going to give that any more attention. I'm not going to allow that behavior to persist in my life anymore, and spend time looking at that which you will allow and grow that. That's not selfish. It is the most selfless thing you can do, because I am shining so much more light into and onto the lives of so many more people than I ever did when I was slaving away and being resentful. So be your brightest. Not only do you deserve it, but it lights your life, and then you automatically light other people's lives. And there is no better feeling than when you see that you've had a positive impact for yourself and for others. And Monique, I know you're going through it, but already I see such brilliance in you. It's like little sparkling dewdrops and I see how hard you are working to apply these principles. Keep going.
Yeah, I do. I try. I do my best.
You are going to have times when you fall off the wagon. Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, it's a learning life, right?
Yep, let me get back on. Your life will transform. I can't tell you how quickly.
Okay.
But I can absolutely assure you that in these few couple of weeks, in hearing your voice and the words and the things that you are describing, there has already been a tremendous transformation. Keep it up. You are doing magnificently, and things will change.
If God have got trust in me, so then I have to take it on, So
just keep that beautiful attitude. Look for signs of alignment. I think it was last week that we talked about that.
Yes.
What do we do when 24 hours has gone by and our world is not magically restored or transformed, you look for things that are going right. You look for how you feel. Check in with how you feel. You look for signs from the angels, feathers, pennies.
Yeah, I do.
Songs. That's how you know you are doing everything right, even when that big thing hasn't changed.
Yeah, the event. Yeah, it wasn't pretty, but okay. I take my lesson out of it. So yeah, I'm thankful for that. Yeah.
You're so brilliant. That's exactly what we have to do. Okay, whoa, that wasn't fun. What did I get from it? Where is it leading me? What does it provide for me so that I don't have to do this again?
Yeah, yeah. And I know.
And look at how much stronger I am because I did have a moment going through this situation.
And okay, I wasn't aware enough, but yeah, God exists. So yeah, nobody is going to tell me that there is no God. So yeah, I'm grateful that I have that I got the experience.
And you have the perfect attitude of gratitude. You're not.
Okay, thank you.
Well, there's no fake pretend, oh, I'm so grateful. You really realize that you probably experienced one of the most valuable lessons any of us can experience. And that is learning how strong we are.
Yes.
We don't learn how strong we are sitting in a beautiful, comfy armchair. We learn how strong we are when life appears to fall apart and we have to put it back together.
Yes.
But guess what happens next? Now you've got all this strength, and so as you are putting your life back together, you're creating a much stronger life for yourself without false dependencies, and you automatically attract into your life other people that you can encourage, and that makes you even stronger and more proud of yourself.
Yeah, but I get a nice friend in my life a couple of weeks ago. Yes, and I'm helping her too, and she's very sweet. So yeah, and today I was going to the spiritual center, and I'm going to do some volunteer work over there. Yeah.
Oh, I love you. This is amazing. You are magnificent. I'm just so delighted that you are taking what we're talking about and putting it to use and not sitting around and saying, well, if he had treated me better, I would be okay. Who cares?
Yeah.
The thing that we're not going to allow anyone to treat you badly in the future, but whatever happened, happened, and now the thing is to move forward and say, whoa, I've identified a way that I don't want to be treated by another person.
Yeah, because now...
Hallelujah, hooray.
Yeah.
I will not attract that again, and I know I deserve better.
Yes. Yeah.
So, hallelujah. I love it. You are magnificent.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, well, we're at the end of our hour. Thank you all so much for listening. Monique, thank you for participating and making my week, my life, because anytime someone demonstrates for the rest of us that they are moving forward, it teaches all of us that if they can do it, we can do it too, first of all, and it encourages us. In case we're stuck or we're in a tough place ourselves, Monique's success today will inspire all of us. Hey, just hang in there. Look for something to be grateful for. Take your eyes off the problem. Get it onto the solution. Get out of your own way.
Okay, I do.
Oh, you're
Thank you.
perfect. You're doing fantastically. So those of you who are listening, thank you so much. Those of you who wrote in questions, thank you. It's so important that we all as a community share with each other so that we can learn, because when one person learns and shares it with the other person, the rest of us don't have to learn that lesson. And we all progress much more quickly. So please message me if you're going through a tough time. I offer a complimentary consultation. It's Marcia, Marcia, at marciamartinthehearthealer.com. If you're interested in programs or classes, please go to my website. There's always something fabulous going on. marciamartinthehearthealer.com. I am happy to help you, happy to support you and encourage you, and happy to be here for you, offering what I've learned and giving us the opportunity to share what we've learned. So thank you all. I appreciate you all so much. Next week, I almost forgot, we're going to be looking at the solution won't be revealed by complaining. So let's see what they're going to how they're going to help us, just in the way that they helped us with gratitude, understand that we can't fake our way and we're better off just leaving that subject alone. What is the role of complaining? How can we use it effectively? And how can we break ourselves of that habit? So thank you all. Again, it's Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer, and I will see you next week.